and Warzone mixed together. We are obviously in the middle of race weekends, so there's no new race to talk about, but there's obviously plenty going on, and it kind of gives me a chance to talk about a few of the sort of little bits that's going on. So Marquez, performance, looking at factory and satellite specs for the bike manufacturers, and why is it different, and how far behind are each manufacturer satellite teams versus the factories, and kind of why is that. And then looking at braking as well, so a really interesting article by Matt Oxley, who's a very, very good journalist, who goes into the technical details a huge amount, and yeah, just wanted to sort of bring that up. And braking has gone absolutely crazy. Been a big change in the last few kind of years, so talking about that and making sure that, you know, if there's any questions that we can answer them. So I'm just going to set up the stream right now, so I'll give you 30 seconds of people in the lobby shooting me, because that's what they want to do. Be right back.
Get yourself sorted. We'll be deployed shortly. Enemy dropping into the AO. Enough practice. Time for the real thing.
Right, I'm back. Take a bit of a sip of drink there just to get the throat going. So.
Battle Royale. Gas is approaching your position.
Yes.
Move to the safe zone.
So, from a personal point of view, it's been a busy weekend. We've been decorating one of our children's bedrooms. We kind of put. We're going to go to airport as a starter. We put a little bit of a challenge in. We wanted to get it all done this weekend, and we've managed to do it. We had a couple of coats of paint. It's all been plastered and all that sort of stuff. And we put two coats of just white on, and then 2 coats of colour, gloss, done all the ceiling as well. Yeah, it's all done with a few spots of colour as well. But yeah, it's all ready to go pretty much. So tomorrow is getting everything sort of back in there. I've missed. That's not a good start.
Your primary objective is
Don't
to kill
think it's
them
going to cost us anything. So yeah, that's what I've been doing this weekend. It's been a busy one, but we did get it done, and she is pretty happy with it. So you know, can't complain too much. We'll pick up that car. Let's get this cash. So yeah, that's kind of been most of the weekend really, with a bit of a food shop and all the other kind of rubbish that you have to do. That's a win right there. Just conscious there is a UAV up, so just be careful around here. This is one of my go-to drops, so And again, if you are after some really hot movement and drop in sort of 20 sort of kills, you've come to the wrong place, I'm afraid. You need to go and find a streamer who is a lot better at the game than me. I'll swap that out. What I want to do is grow a community all about MotoGP. Very passionate about MotoGP, really kind of get into it a huge amount, follow it from a technical point of view, from a race point of view, and yeah, absolutely love it, and that's kind of what I want to kind of do with streaming. It's not about being an amazing Warzone player, although I'd like to think I'm alright, but yeah, nothing crazy you're going to see here. As a MotoGP fan, I am into bikes, and so as you can... Wow, what was that? I'm into my bikes, and the one very exciting thing I did this week... God, there's very few people around here. The one thing I was able to do was to go and pick my bike up. So it's been off the road for about 4 years. Let's go back and see what's going on out here, because I got shot at for some reason. I think I got shot at anyway. Can't imagine I was shot at though. Thought there was somebody over there. So I was able to pick it up and yeah, rode my bike for the first time in about 4 years this weekend. So yeah, really pleased, and it's just one of those things, you forget how much you kind of miss it. I've got loadout cash. I've got loadout cash, so I need to go to the loadout. So yeah, that was my kind of weekend really. A lot of work on decorating, and I don't know if anybody likes decorating. I certainly do not, and neither does the wife. So yeah, we were just kind of getting it done.
Friendly loadout drop on the way.
That's handy. Well, what we're going to go with. I haven't really changed much on my classes. I do like the S87. It does feel quite nice. It's a bit slow to kind of move around with. That's the only downside to it. Obviously in Warzone, we did have the 80s Heroes update, which is good, but the issue is on solos, everybody goes to
enemy UAV overhead.
Nakatomi Tower.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
It's going to be in there. I kind of went for the daddy there because I knew he knew where I was. And if I didn't, there was a risk that I would be taken out then. So that's the reason I used the daddy there. So yeah, that's kind of where we are really. Everybody, yeah, but in solos it's kind of hard now because a lot of the lobby now goes to Nakatomi Tower. I don't really like kind of getting involved early doors with a huge amount of I don't like to get involved with a huge amount.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Friendly loadout drop on the way.
Ooh. Thought it might be there.
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
That was too close.
That was too close. You're right, Vargas. And so the lobbies die off relatively quickly. So, yeah, it makes it 42, down to 42 already. So, sadly, that is where my loadout's gone as well. Now he knows where I am. So he could well think, quite rightly, that my loadout's the one next to him. Another one there as well.
There's a jailbreak at the Gulag. You've got incoming.
Okay. Interesting. So yeah, it's a bit, don't know, with all these sort of POIs.
You've got gas moving in. Enemy UAV overhead.
Recon overflight inbound.
Heads up. Combatants are redeploying to the AO.
UAV entering the AO.
Got two people chasing each other there. Need to
Be
take
advised,
the
UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
need to take the targeting spotlight off this. I do like what it gives you, but it... Wait a minute then, I'm sure I did. I do like what it gives you, the sort of spotlights and extra range and stuff, but what it does do is just give visibility of you to someone else, to other people. That's not really my game, so yeah. Well, I got them on. I think I've still got on the MP5 as well, although I might have changed that. Someone's been through there and not picked that up. Really? Makes me nervous.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Yeah, just wanted to talk about Marquez for once. So the three sort of things that I want to talk about today. Are Marquez, you know, he's been back to 3 races. What do we think? What do we think of his performances? That's nice. That's what we like. He's been in here as well. He's, yeah, you know, what do we think about him? He's come back. Has he been above expectations, below expectations? Could we have expected any more from him? Etc. etc. The second thing I want to talk about was the factory bikes versus satellite bikes. So there is obviously a difference between satellite bikes and factory bikes. There has to be. You wouldn't give... Do I need to go to PD? No. I'm just going to pull up there as well. Oh, I could do with a vehicle.
There's our ride.
Okay. Let's get a vehicle, get the truck, and move more mid-circle. There is a difference, obviously. There has to be. What are the big differences? Why are some bikes basically very close, or what feels like very close?
Taking the wheel.
Very close to the factory bikes, and some seem to be a bit further away. You know, why is that? What could lead to it? Hello there. Wow. Let's go up here.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Tend to like using trucks, to be honest. I'm usually killed by them, to be honest, as well. So.
Vendor, if you need to recon overflight inbound.
UAV entering the AO.
Okay, makes sense. Wow, there's literally...
Destination marked.
Gas is moving.
Push this guy.
Be
Move on my
advised,
waypoint.
UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
Destination marked.
Oh, guy. Quad coming here. Why have you gone there? Where's that other guy gone? And yeah, the third thing I wanted to talk about was braking. So at the top of the stream, the braking has gone considerably higher in forces. I was reading a good article by Matt Oxley, who's a top MotoGP journalist, talks a lot about technology and talks a little bit about and there's the benefit of a good headset. I saw someone there. Just in that tree. Okay. I'm kind of not really sure what to do here. I'm just going to probably go in a circle. So yeah, that was my kind of plan for tonight. If you do drop in, then let me know what you want to talk about. If there's anything kind of like you want to know, I might not know, but I might do, and if not, I'll kind of have a look into it really, because I'm always interested in stuff that I'm not familiar with or not sure on. So yeah, please add to the discussion. So first, Marc Marquez. I think everybody was thinking when he came back to Portimao and was in the top, was number one. He was number one. I think it was in FP2 or FP3. I'm pretty sure it's FP2 actually. On the first day, I think everyone kind of thought, "Oh God, here we go, here we go, he's back." There's no question in my mind that the old Marc Marquez, who, to be fair, nearly won at LF in 2020, was the best driver in the world, and by quite a distance. I think there's certain people that could kind of bring to, take it to him if things were kind of right for them. But consistent basis, he was just miles ahead. And to be fair, the things he can do on a motorbike, everybody in MotoGP is superhuman. Marc Marquez is the definition of superhuman. You don't have to ride a bike to know. You probably just have had to watch MotoGP for a couple of years to kind of understand what he does. Is just ridiculous. Just bonkers. There's just no other words for it. He is just superhuman. And you can go back to Cal Crutchlow. He was talking about
overflight inbound.
UAV entering the AO.
He was talking about Marc Marquez and said he kind of crashed about.
Move on my waypoint.
He crashes about 5 times. Okay, what's this guy doing?
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
Move on my waypoint.
Fighting's done. The area's cleared out.
Trouble is there.
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe
Even if I
zone.
saw him, I haven't got the loadout to. So I'm
Friendly
absolutely
loadout drop on the way.
horrific at sniping. Oh God. Right, we're trying to cheat her.
Only 10 are left.
Nice.
You were one of 10 remaining. We lost that one, but we'll come back stronger next time.
Maybe not cheating, to be fair. He just absolutely beamed. Let's see how many kills he's got. He's only got 8. Looks pretty straight. He's only 55.
Recon's inbound.
Maybe. Don't know. Oh, let's leave and change the Tiger team. So yeah, I mean, he's just, the guy's just superhuman. There's nothing really else you can say about it. And when he had his accident, I think everybody thought he's going to take a bit of time to come back. But you always kind of thought that he might come back and he'd just be crazy again. but it doesn't quite seem to be the case. That's nothing against him. I mean, Jesus, he's come back after. Something like that. He's come back after a horrific injury where he's had a huge amount of issues coming back with his arm obviously getting infected. To come back to where he has this quickly has been just short phenomenal, to be quite honest. And I mean, to be fair to him, I think he's done probably what I expected him to do, especially sort of Portimao. I expected him to come back, have kind of the one lap pace, kind of where it should have been. But even he kind of left after the injury, and then he did. But over the course of the race, he's been injured. He's been out for the best part of the year. Physically being on a motorbike, even on my motorbike, well, I've been off it for 4 years, and coming back like that, I was aching. I had about 15 to 20 minute ride, and then you're talking about going on a MotoGP bike, which is 300 brake horsepower, hugely fast machine. And the things that they have to do, rear braking into corners, bit of rear brake like that, the corners to stabilise the rear, all these sort of things, all the counter steering. I mean, the forces that they've got. He's obviously not going to last the whole race, and I expected that, and he did well. Jerez, he struggled.
Proceed to the safe zone.
Might do. Let's drop at train station. Jerez, he took a bit of a beating, and even
your primary objective is to kill them all.
and I think even he said,
Enemy dropping into the AO.
there's one above me at least. Even he said, his confidence had taken a battering. I'll just go down, because I've got nearly the loadout. Loot back here, get this. Yeah, for me, he's been... I never thought that he would be kind of up at the speed that he was up at. I mean, to start with, but that was just bonkers, absolutely bonkers. But Jerez really did take it out of him. The two big accidents that he had. I don't think you have a quiet, a slow.
You've got a loadout
I don't think, yeah. Let's go for the Crig. Yeah, you don't have slow accidents, but I mean, they were particularly fast accidents. And where we lost the front, which is, you know, somewhere where I think everybody would say that he was incredibly strong at. Okay, I'm going to make my way back to train, I think.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Steady there.
We've got gas moving in.
That's too close.
That was pretty close, to be fair.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Eyes on shooter. Recon's up.
UAV entering the AO.
Alright, he's on bottom floor, I think.
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
It's got to be over there, close, surely. Where is that? How did he know I was there? Should have gone through the door. So yeah, is it? I think it's been incredibly tough for him coming back. Those two crashes, and he obviously struggled. He couldn't then test at the ref, which will be again more time on the bike, which is probably what he kind of needs.
Now go sort this fucker out. Sending you back to base.
Damn, not a good one, that one. So yeah, he had a tough time at HRF. Couldn't test, which he could have done with, and HRF would have took some confidence out. And then coming back to Le Mans, wet race, you kind of think, oh, here we go, this is perfect for Marquez, absolutely perfect. And it was. You could see, the feel that he has for the bike, especially in those conditions. He's certainly a very, very good rider in those mixed conditions. And I was thinking, here we go. He's on the pace. He's more than on the pace. He seems faster than everybody else, even Miller at that point in time. This could be it. This could be his first win, and that would have probably bred more confidence in Marquez. And he could have quite simply been unstoppable, but he overdid it. Coming out of the last corner at Le Mans, lost it kind of high side. It wasn't a bad high side, but he did high side. And luckily, nothing was sort of injured. He got going again, and again looked really quick, and then came off. And I put that down to the fact that he hasn't been on a MotoGP bike a huge amount in the last year, and it's difficult for everybody, but especially when you're coming back and you don't have that sort of baseline feel, I guess is what you'd call it, a baseline feel of
Grab some target practice while you can. We're deploying soon.
what the bike feels like, really, and understanding where the limit is. Especially the Honda. I mean, you can see if Marquez isn't riding it, it's basically
Hostile
nowhere.
dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
So yeah, he's come back. He had the accident, and I think that's probably knocked his confidence even further, even after LF. And we've seen sort of little bits of it, but I can't see Marquez coming back and winning at Mugello, and I can't see him winning for probably a few races. And then I can't imagine he then goes on and dominates like he did in 2019. And because of that, and he's 50 points behind Bagnaia already, who's leading the championship, I don't believe he will be able to mount a title challenge this year. And I say that
Gas is approaching your position. Move to the safe zone.
with a sense of worry, just simply because I know Marc Marquez is an absolutely phenomenal rider, and he could probably prove me wrong at Mugello and prove me wrong, going forward at every race. And if he does that, then fair play. But in my opinion, it's not going to be that straightforward. Another piece that I saw about Honda, and I think it was specifically, and I think it was Matt Oxley again, specifically about Honda, was the tyres.
Your primary objective is to kill them all.
And effectively what Michelin have done is take away some of the compounds that were used in 2020, and this is to make it simplify it, make it easy to understand for the layman, but also the idea is to kind of make sure that the riders haven't got too much choice, and so can find their setups easier, and hopefully kind of close and racing up. There's less kind of things going on effectively, and so just makes it slightly easier for everyone to understand it. Oh yes, thank you. Get that plate on, thank you. That's the daddies. And the issue that KTM got, but also Honda, is that they can't make their bike work sometimes work with the tyres that are now being given. And Michelin took away the tyres that they took away because, in their words, they weren't being used as much. However, you know, Suzuki as well. Well, one of the manufacturers that did sometimes use it, and it works, especially. Just thought I heard somebody, so I'm just, that's in storage, that's fine. And so yeah, so some of the manufacturers now haven't got a tyre, or the tyre that they used last year, that worked for them, and so the bike, they can't set the bike up to use the other ones. Which, when you think about it, is just crazy, you know, and is that what you want to happen? Like, do we want a spec tyre to make it pretty impossible for the likes of Honda, KTM, but, you know, it could be Yamaha, it could be Ducati in future rounds. To make it difficult for them, so they can't actually. Don't need that. So they can't set up their bike. I mean, for me, it's definitely a no. And if they've done it to simplify it, but then effectively penalised. Oh, there's no buy here. Damn. No buy there either. Oh, that's not the best buy. Oh dear. As you can see, I don't know if you saw that kind of yellow thing that came up, but I think that is the vault at Nakatomi Tower being opened, which is, I believe, full of about 100 grand's worth of
enemy UAV overhead.
And actually this morning I did play a few games and I did kill the person who came out Nakatomi Tower. Or certainly somebody who had maybe killed them. Because I got about, I think I got 40 grand.
Enemy UAV overhead.
This is what.
Loadout drop headed your way.
As far away as possible. Oh. It's a bit risky to just jump out there.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Hopefully no one's took this. Okay, got the loadout, which is good. So yeah, is that what we kind of want? Obviously Honda will be working and KTM will be working to get the bike working with the tyres that they've got in the allocations. However, it's a bit of a...
Enemy UAV overhead.
I know a lot of
Enemy
people want to
UAV
get rid of
overhead.
daddies, but in that situation it is more of a skill. In my opinion.
Enemy UAV overhead. Loadout drop headed your way.
Oh no. That's not ideal. In the middle of the bloody airfield. There's two there as
Gas is
well.
closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
Unbelievable.
Need medical attention.
Really? That's annoying. So yeah, they're obviously working on it, but yeah, I don't know. It feels a bit wrong to me to.
Welcome to the Gulag. If you survive, you
You
earn
know,
your
they
freedom.
changed it so that it doesn't work. I suppose, you know, the least amount of the tyre that was used the least was taken out. So from that point of view, it's probably fair. But at the other sort of side, you think,
Win here
well,
and you
it'd be
return to the
nice to
front
have
line. You lose, your fight is over.
a decent.
Sort them out or capture the objective.
Oh,
Roughed up. Bringing you home.
you are kidding me.
We lost that one. Come back stronger next time.
Wow, I'm not having a good run of games then. But yeah, I suppose it's down to sort of Honda and the guys to do it. But I don't know. It just feels sort of unlucky when you're coming in and they change that sort of fundamental thing as a tyre. It's, you know, it can be quite massive and wide ranging. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But I think overall, in summary, Marquez has done as much as you could have expected him to. If he hadn't have had the Jerez 2 crashes, he potentially would have a bit more confidence just to push. That could be partly down to the bike being quite a difficult bike to ride. He will be back. You can see he's going to be back. Whether he will ever get to the same level as he was is, I guess, the question mark. And but he's still going to be up and around there, to be fair. So yeah, that's my sort of take on Marquez. What do you think? Yeah, leave a comment. And yeah, if you agree, disagree, doesn't matter. It's a talking point. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the factory versus satellite specs, and mainly I did read an article about the Ducati Aero, and there's a Facebook group, I can't remember, I think it's MotoGP sort of tech, but there was some really in-depth photos, and I mean, fair play to the guys that do this sort of thing, but taking photos of the chassis, looking at the pivot points, the engine mounts, etc., and just picking out differences. I just can't do that. That's just crazy. So yeah, fair play to them. But they were talking about the Ducati and how similar it is
Warm-up's done. Time
from
to
the
kick this
factory
off.
bikes to the satellite bikes, especially the Pramac guys. But you know, even when you go down to Marini, is it better you know, they are putting in some really, really good performances. And it got me thinking, because obviously Morbidelli is always sort of saying, you know, he's on the A-Spec, which is a now 2019
Battle Royale.
Yamaha,
Avoid the gas. Get
and
to the safe
he
zone.
makes a really big thing of that. And, you know, to be fair, he was second
There's
in
our
the...
LZ. Jumping.
He was second in the World Championship last year. You know, he probably does deserve a 2021 factory spec Yamaha. And he hasn't got one, probably mainly due to Valentino Rossi taking that and them having Cantavo, and they've signed Viñales up as well.
Your primary objective is to kill them all.
So yeah, could well be that, you know, he is going to get some kind of factory bike in the near future. I'd say next year. I mean, if they don't, then I think you'd probably say that he'd be on his way if he doesn't get that assurance, to be quite honest. And would you blame him? One thing that Morbidelli doesn't have to prove yeah, I just thought it was interesting. How the Ducatis kind of do it, and why are they seemingly more together? I say seemingly. They're not. Someone has been here. Just slowing it down because see that yellow thing as well.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Don't know where this guy is, which is making me slightly nervous.
Gas is moving. Loadout drop headed your way.
No, I didn't. I didn't hear the loadout go down, but that suggested that dead silence on there, that a loadout had been called. Oh, maybe I just missed it. That's interesting. So yeah, that's the reason that I did want to just have a look at this, and I've had a kind of bit of a look into it, and
You're being tracked by an enemy team. Stay sharp.
wonderful. Understand roughly
Taking the
the
wheel.
reasons and that sort of stuff. 3.10, and effectively Morbidelli is on the 2019
Enemy UAV
Yamaha.
overhead.
It was a 2019 spec chassis, and when they moved to a 2020 chassis, the Yamaha, they had a brand new engine. Now, this did a number of things, but the main thing was it changed the engine mounting points. So when Morbidelli was going straight guns last year, Yamaha couldn't go, well actually, you've used 4, you probably wouldn't want a factory, engine last year because of the valve issue, but if, say, that was a much better engine,
Enemy UAV overhead.
then you say, the Yamaha could say, well actually, you've used 4 of your engines, that's fine, but we'll give you 2 proper full spec factory engines and off you go, you've got what you need. We could also, if they had sort of slightly different suspension, etc. Right, I'm
Enemy
going to go
UAV
up here.
overhead.
Jesus Christ. Here's my bounty.
Enemy UAV overhead. Loadout drop headed your way.
Being chased by a...
You've got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated. You're safe. You lost the enemy trackers.
I really don't like riot shielders. Oh, hate them with a passion. I don't think he's chasing me. He is, you know. So I
Gas
think
is inbound.
he probably killed the riot shielder. fair play, but I can't see him, so I could drop back round, couldn't I? Let's take a wide. Use my daddy though, that's the only trouble. So yeah, they couldn't actually give him the better.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Couldn't give him the better stuff. And that's exactly... Whoa. In top hotel. That'll do. Wow. Yeah, this gun absolutely beams if you hit something like that. By the way. So yeah, they couldn't give him anything. Now,
Enemy UAV overhead.
that is a bit of an issue, obviously, because Morbidelli was signed into the A spec, and then he did so well. You know, ordinarily you might say, we want to give him. We want to give him the factory spec machine. But they couldn't, and they can't give him anything because they haven't got another chassis, and it's all been locked down. So that's where Morbidelli's frustration comes from, is that he's kind of locked in with that. Now, you might say, well, you know, that's a contract you signed. Yamaha have got 3 amazing riders. Yeah, you'd be right. But to be fair to Morbidelli, he did pretty well last year. So, yeah, I think he's got, quite rightly, the option to moan. I'm just trying to look over here, because if we get some people rotating in, we've got not too worried about moving yet, although I'm going to have to. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anybody there, does it? Just saw something there, did I? I think I would have seen them by now if there was anybody rotating in. Fantastique.
Gas is inbound. Marking new
And then you
safe
look at
zone.
Ducati, they go about it in a slightly different way, and oh, that's snipey. I'm going to let him go, and hopefully yeah, I thought he'd snipe me. Yeah, excellent. I'm in a bit of a sticky situation here. Okay, forget that.
Andrew Wheelman.
We'll take the long way around here. Not put us up against a sniper with the load that I've got, because I can't really hit him, and he hits me once on the head and I go down.
Gas is moving.
No point in taking that fight. So it's not really been an all-action game. We've got 1 kill, but there we are. Sometimes these things like that, that means I can talk a little bit more. really. So Ducati have done it slightly differently now. This might be because the chassis hasn't really changed an awful lot. It might just give Yamaha a bit of a pointer on how they could get away from this. Issue. Okay. This is just to take a little bit of health out of that truck. Don't mind taking that
was too close.
But try and take the truck out, or at least give you a bit of a chance to take some health out, because you might need to destroy it at some point in the next
Enemy UAV
couple of
overhead.
circles. I don't know where anyone is, which is the issue. I've got 8 grand, so I could get a UAV. That is what you get when you... What's that? That's what you got when you mount. Mounting is ridiculous. It's basically using no recoil on a gun like an LMG. It's just beams. Okay, no one else coming here. That's fine.
Gas is closing.
Ducati
Get to the
have
new
the
safe
same
zone.
chassis. Sounds obvious, but it means that the mounting points are exactly the same on engines. It means that bodywork can be changed. It means that most of the parts will be interchangeable. So again, the factory are doing something. Factory doing something, they find it's useful, they can just make it, put it down to the B spec or the non-factory spec. Job's good and easy peasy.
Gas is moving.
Yeah, the way Yamaha have done it means that they can't do that. And that's what's given them this problem. Now Ducati, the photos in question bet that's the same person still in his truck. So do you think he's been taken out then? Definitely someone next to me.
Final deployment is making ready. Your window's closing fast. Gas is closing. Get to the new safe zone. Friendly loadout drop on the way.
Oh, I've got no gas mask, so I need to move here. Oh, this is dangerous.
10 remaining. Keep it up.
Okay. Now, Ducati are very similar chassis and very similar. Oh, this is goddamn dangerous.
Gas is closing in.
They're very similar everything. They've got even very similar aero. Well, I'm going to wait here for this guy because he's going to move, although I am probably not in a very good position here either. Must have already moved. This game just makes you so nervous.
Gas is closing. Get to the new safe zone.
I know there's something going on here, but I can't see anybody. God, it could be anybody, anywhere. Oh God.
You've got gas moving in.
Doesn't look like this is going to end well.
Less than 5 to go. 3 over the win. You were 1 of 10 remaining. The enemy took that.
Again, only like 2 kills. No kills at all. I'm going to have to go to Mecha Counter, I think, to get some kills. So yeah, they've got. There's a little bit of frame differences, and a few different things on the sort of launch controls. So and the launch. What do you call them? The actual thing. So they put the front suspension down and the rear suspension down. They've got differences there. But generally, the chassis is pretty similar. On the aero, the factory guys have got a third aero duct towards the bottom of the fairing. And yeah, they're very similar. And that's why you see the non-factory guys, the satellite guys, I mean, Zarko in particular, he's really, really, really fast. I mean, Zarko, I don't know what he's got in his engine, but you know, either he's hooking that up really well out of the end of the start of the straights, or he's got some kind of like turbo boost on it. It's just unbelievable the amount of power that he's got. So that's kind of why, and then you'll get the Hondas. Paul Espargaro was moaning a lot about the fact that every Honda rider has a different setup, so they have different chassis, different parts, different aeros, and actually there's no sort of centralised focus there, which makes it very difficult to know how to move forward. You've got KTMs, which I think are going to be very similar, to be fair, and that's just a case of development. You know, for KTM, it makes sense to do that. There's no real reason.
Enough practice. Time for the real thing.
Not to sort of share parts because they're so new into it. Obviously, they did have a couple of good, very good races last year. So yeah, that's kind of why it's different between manufacturers and how the different manufacturers kind of manage it. I certainly think that the Yamaha, even though he's on the 2009 bike, it is a very, very good bike, but it is, like I say, 2 years old, and there's going to be, I think Yamaha are trying to add a little bit of development into it, but it's not going to have that much focus compared to the factory bikes. So well, let's go to Nakatomi Tower. I don't even know where to go on here, to be honest, so let's see. And then yeah, there was just a little bit about braking. Now this was in relation to, oh dear, that's not good. That is not good. I think I came down here, yeah.
Your primary objective is to kill them all.
Right, let's get out of here. At least I'm close to the people, so if I can get some good ones. Jesus, there's somebody in here. Probably the worst gun in the game. Ground loot.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Just need some kind of gun. Anything. Any gun. Any gun. Please. Any gun. Just give us a gun. Preferably automatic. LT10. Barra. That sounds sporting. Do you know what game? I'll take it. Thank you. Right. Let's head back to Nakatomi. Yeah, there's a piece by Matt Oxley. If you don't know Matt Oxley, get to know him. If you're interested in MotoGP, he is a brilliant journalist. I think you'd say he knows more about MotoGP tech than almost anyone. is ridiculously well informed. I do like the RPD. Oh my goodness, the
Supply box ready for pickup. Enemy UAV overhead.
well, we've got one kill off the rip, so you know it's better than it has been. What? Oh, that's the bloody
Hostile dropping into
helicopter.
the area. Watch the skies.
That's a helicopter. And he talks specifically about braking in MotoGP, and that actually MotoGP braking hasn't really changed a huge lot. It's on this floor, excellent. But easier than I thought.
Objectives updated. Move to the next location.
Yeah, in the last, well, what would you say? I can't remember exactly what he said, but in the last sort of 15 years, I don't think, like, carbon brakes came along. They were so good that literally everyone started using them.
Enemy team is tracking your location.
Straight away. And they haven't really kind of got much better sort of since, and that's just generally because of technology.
Contract updated. New objective identified.
As part of the braking movements, you have got the tyres. Oh my god, we are. Forget that. We are needing a vehicle pretty rapidly. Otherwise we're dead. Okay, let's say straight race.
Contract failed. Objectives out of range.
Straight race with me on the gas. So yeah, he's saying that the technology hasn't really changed for a long while.
Enemy UAV overhead.
And what has really sort of pushed it on in the last few years is, can anyone guess? Of course, it's the aero that Ducati have brought in. The amount of
Friendly loadout drop on the way.
the amount of the aero has increased braking is just bonkers. It's just ridiculous.
Gas is closing in.
What the? How many times do I need to hit you in the face? We've got to stop these now. Just need to get more
Welcome to the Gulag.
health then as
If you
well.
survive, you earn your freedom. The fight's begun.
And yeah, so the arrow
You're
going
up next,
through,
mate. Get ready.
it puts through a huge
Just wait
amount
for your
of
turn
pressure
now.
on
Be
the
ready.
braking. And it's gone up to like 2.5 G, I think he said. And it's just unbelievable. Obviously tyres have got a bit on there, a bit of kind of input into there.
You win this fight and you
But
return
yeah,
to the front line.
it's just gone
If you
crazy.
lose, you're done here.
This is me gone.
Time to earn your freedom, soldier. You got roughed up in there. We're bringing you home.
That's rubbish.
If your team has the cash,
Dear. Well, that was a really rubbish game, so apologies about the games. But yeah, just a bit about the tyres. So the braking, so the technology after carbon brakes has been very, very similar all the way through. And the aero has put a huge amount of pressure on there. And you saw a kind of example of it at the Austrian Grand Prix. There's either the Austrian or the Styrian, because I think they did two last year. But where Maverick Vinales' brake disc completely disintegrated. Now that was because Maverick had gone back to the earlier spec brake pads and brake discs. I don't know if it was actually brake discs and pads or the actual calipers themselves, but he'd gone back to the previous kind of version because it felt better, which, you know, as a racer, you would go back to kind of what feels the best and the fastest. And over the course of the race, it just heated up so much that, you know, you went for brakes and it blew up. As simple as that. Which is not what you want to do on a 220 mile an hour machine. So yeah, and that was because, you know, Brembo are always working against these massive forces, and it is down to the aerodynamics that Ducati brought in 4 or 5 years ago, probably 6 years ago now, actually, that are putting so much load through the front tyre when they are braking that it is changing the way Brembo are having to think about slowing MotoGP bikes down. And if you know Newton's laws, 160, 170 kilos of motorbike heading through at about 200 miles an hour is a huge amount of weight to stop. And then if you've got even more grip on the front tyre that means that you can brake even harder, that is a huge amount of force going through there. I mean, you know, when you see sort of brake discs glowing in the dark because they're that hot, you know, this is carbon, for goodness sake. It's just unbelievable, the technology that, you know, that has been on the bikes, and completely different to road bikes, which is brilliant because, you know, to me, like Formula One with cars, MotoGP is literally a playground for what can you do to make the bike go as fast as possible. Now, there is a bit of a thought process that, you know, it has to, if it's going to add value, it needs to be road, used on the road. But you've got to think that, you know, it doesn't matter from that point of view. You're trying to make it go fast, and yeah, they can put rules in afterwards to manage stuff out if it isn't sort of, you know, roadworthy or something that is going to feed down into road cars. But those sort of queries don't necessarily come up when you see a new piece of tech either. So, yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that 90 minutes. The games were pretty shocking, to be fair. So I hope my talking and rambling kind of added something to you. Please feel free to like, comment, unsubscribe. I do this every week, 7:30 till 9 o'clock on a Sunday, generally to review what's comings and goings in MotoGP. If there's been a race weekend, talk about the race weekend, and you always pick out the 3 big points that I see at any week. So, yeah. Come back, add comments. It'd be really good to get people in chat, just to kind of add to the discussions and add to the topics that we can cover. So, yeah, hope you've had a good weekend. Hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next week.